Have you guys ever seen an engine that runs on both gasoline and diesel, where one half is set up for gas, the other half set up for diesel? Well, this is a 1951 International Harvester TD9 dozer, and it hasn't run in about 20 years. We're going to see if we can't get it started today, and this should be a good one. Now you may be saying, Meredith, you're a marine mechanic. What are you out there doing heavy equipment for? Well, if you know me, you know I can't resist a good engine start, especially an engine that's been sitting for quite some time, and I don't really care what applications it's in. This is also an engine I don't have any experience with. I've never gotten to actually see one of these in real life, let alone try to start it up. So I'm really excited. This will help me build my skill set, and it should be a lot of fun. Now this engine's pretty unique in the sense that it starts on gasoline and then you switch it over to diesel. And I'll explain that a little bit later in the video. But what I'm trying to do here is I brought some gasket paper. I'm making new gaskets for a little gasoline filter bowl here. The tank above that filter housing is actually the gas tank. And the reason it's so small is you only run the engine on gasoline for a short period of time, enough that you'll warm up the engine and be able to start the diesel side with no problem. So we don't need a lot of gasoline. Since nothing has been touched on this in quite some time, everything's, leaky squeaky. So I brought some gasket paper with me and we're just kind of going through the system. Also, prior to my arrival, the folks here had, cleaned up the points on the magneto. They had 180 degrees out and it was backfiring pretty bad. So we actually flipped it back around, which I did hear a pop. So I think we're in business there. We've definitely got spark. So let's finish cleaning up this fuel system, this gasoline fuel system, and then we will see if it fires for the first time in 20 years. Yay, no leaks. This little filter bowl has been pretty annoying, actually. Really glad I brought that gasket paper. We'll give it a slight tighten here, and we should be good to go. All right, moment of truth. We've got fuel, spark, and air. And Mark is going to fire it up because he's the one who has experience running one of these. So we'll see if our attempt works the first time. I'm really excited. Okay, let's try it again. You can do it. There we go. Actually, runs pretty well. Now that we've got the correct timing and a good fuel supply, we've actually got this engine running pretty good. This is a pretty unique engine. It's got several butterfly valves in the intake manifold that are controlled by the lever that switches it from gasoline to diesel. And those butterfly valves block off different ports in the cylinder head to allow the engine to fire either on its spark plugs or on its injectors on the other side. It's a pretty cool setup, pretty reliable, and a lot more simple than the Caterpillar pony motor setup. So this guy, we needed to get the timing right, and what we did was we loosened these bolts and advanced our distributor assembly, and as we did that, this thing actually started to take off. So, believe it or not, all it took was getting our timing right and making sure we had solid fuel, and then this thing actually took off really well on its own. Now that we've got the gasoline side up and running, we've got to focus on the diesel side. And since this thing is sat for 20 years, we got to go through filters. I'm sure the diesel that's in this tank is not diesel anymore. And in fact, once we get these filters open, you'll see for yourself, it looks more like sludge. There's a lot of rust in those filter housings. It also doesn't even smell like diesel anymore. It's actually kerosene now. So I'm going to get all this stuff torn apart, cleaned up, reassembled, and hopefully that'll help us. So now that we got clean filters, we're going to run this thing on the gasoline side, get the block warmed up as much as possible, and then we're going to try to kick it off. Our primary fuel filter is leaking pretty bad, so I'm waiting to actually open it right before he's ready to switch it over to diesel, just so we don't dump a bunch of diesel on the ground. But hopefully this thing takes off. Since I don't know how much compression this engine actually has for the diesel side, we're going to run it for 10 or 15 minutes, get the block all the way warmed up before we try to switch. All right, here we go. Leg, open it up. There. We'll see if the turning clutches actually work. Come. Oh, come. Come here, come. clutches work. Oh, hold on. Oh, come, stay. Come here, come. Now you know I can't resist firing up a diesel myself, so got to try it out for the first time. Thanks, Mark, for showing me the ropes of how to operate this thing properly.
Yeah.
Well, this, friends, has been quite the experience. I have had a blast. I've learned a ton today. I hope you have too. If you've never seen one of these engines operate, they are quite the experience. They're really cool, how they're designed, how they function. Really excited to see this thing get up and running after 20 years of sitting. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.